I really like to envision my life in seasons. Like, the year has its 4 seasons, and so does your life. And I like to separate mine into summer and winter. And the in-between stage is where I'm reinventing myself. And towards the winter of my reinvention cycle, the leaves fall off the tree, and therefore the old version of myself will need to die. And when she's dying, something new can be planted and something new can be born. That is your new version of yourself, your higher self, the person that you always wanted to be, and the person that you are gonna step into. And then when summer rolls around in this cycle, you will fully have adapted to all the things that you want to revamp in your life. And you will be the person that you wanted to be. And then once again, you have winter, the version that you are currently is gonna die, and you will become someone new. This process, which you will go through over and over and over and over again when you are manifesting your dream reality and your dream life and the dream person that you want to be, you will go through this a lot of times. And every single time it will come with a grieving process. That can be a short period of time or it can be a longer period of time. And trust myself when I say this, because I have been through this so many times. The first time was when I was like 14, 15, when I first started to experiment with makeup and I started dressing differently because I finally had a vision of myself in mind that I wanted to be. And I can probably say that I am her now, but that whole process, it took time and it took a lot of letting go of who I was and all the paradigms that had been put on me by other people, by my parents, by my friends. And I had to let go of all that in order to create the person that I am today. And that wasn't the easiest thing I've done, but I went through this so many times now that I can honestly say you'll get used to it, but there will be times where it's harder and there will be times where it's less hard to let go of the person that you are. And oftentimes that comes with letting go of old friendships. It will definitely come with letting go of old habits. And you will face periods of time where you will be lost and confused. Just like we are when we, for instance, lose a loved one. We are lost and confused, and at first we're in denial because what do you mean they're suddenly not with us anymore? And we need to adapt to that space being empty now. But we will move on and we will create a different life for ourselves without that person. And so will we as well when we let go of our old selves. So what is important with this is that you never lose your focus. Because despite being in a period of grief, which is so difficult to go through sometimes, and it can even cause depression and anxiety, it will definitely cause anxiety. But what you really need to focus on is the vision that you're having in mind. Because it's easy for us to just stop this whole grieving process of our old self because it just feels uncomfortable and we don't want to go through it. But when we have a set goal in mind, and a vision board really helps with that, we will never shift the focus from where we're headed, because we need to stay on our path, because otherwise we will very easily get into a pattern of where we are backstepping and we're like, I'm not sure if I really want this because the situation that I'm in currently really feels uncomfortable and I don't know if I'm ready to even step up in the first place. But you definitely are. When you're at this stage where you already start grieving your old self, you are definitely ready to move on. And that is exactly what we will be doing in this phase, and we will need to allow ourselves to mourn, to grieve, to be sad about everything that we are leaving behind, because we once built this version of ourselves and we built her step by step, and it took time and it took a lot of effort, but now we are ready to up level. And we constantly need to remind ourselves of that, because if we don't, we will fall off, and we will eventually return to the person that we were at the very beginning. Maybe with some slight changes, but we will get back into our bad habits and just probably even go back to that toxic ex that we left. We don't want that. So, truly giving yourself the space and giving yourself the time to feel all of your feelings and really guide yourself through this whole death and rebirth cycle that you are going through currently, because it will certainly not be the last one. You will, as I say, you will get used to this and you will get better and better at guiding yourself through this. I personally, in a time of confusion, I always take out my tarot deck, I take out my journal, and I also take out ChatGPT, and then we have a whole ass tarot session. Sometimes not just one, but multiple, over weeks. Because I then need to figure out where am I even coming from, what part of me is currently dying, because most of the time, at least for me, something just triggers this and then everything's quickly going downhill, and then I'm out on the other side like I'm currently in a space of summer within my cycle. But I will come out the other side and I will be like, oh my god, what the hell was that? And having guidance through tarot and also through spirit guides, through just synchronicities from the universe, all that, you will feel so much more, you will feel just so much more guided when you're going through this process, because it can be a scary one, but there is truly nothing to be afraid of because you are in full control. Because remember, you were the person in the first place who decided that your old self will die. You are essentially just killing her off. This is something that you set out for yourself to do, and you cannot return, or you shouldn't return at least, because then there's a high chance that you will never get to where you want to go. So today's takeaway is really, don't be scared if you get into this phase of life where you realize that everything's going downhill. It has to. It truly has to, in order for you to build something new. And during that grieving process, and also like already before that, because you can kind of sense that it's coming, plant seeds in your mind that will then grow into the beautiful flowers that you will receive during your summertime, where you can flourish and glow because you build yourself up from the inside out, and you will truly be able to say, I'm proud of the person that I'm currently. Until you find something else that you want to improve, and then the whole cycle begins over and over again. And as I said, this can be short for some people, or for some cases in life, or it can be really, really long. Because recently, not too long ago, at the beginning of the year, I went through a cycle a grieving period that lasted 2 weeks. And I have never in my life felt more lost and more confused and more depressed with the state that I was in currently. But I came out the other side. Now I'm glowing. Now I'm at a place where I can say I'm happy with the place that I am currently at. So you will always get out on the other side. That is something you can definitely trust. I am sending so much love and light to your way wherever you are. I hope this video resonated with you. If it did, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you in my community. Leave a like, leave a comment down below if you want to share any of your experiences. I am thrilled to hear what you have to say. Bye!